You're listening to the Super Morning Show here on ELBC 99.9. Already in the studio is the president of the Press Union of Liberia, Mr. Charles Coffee. Happy New Year and congratulations once more.
Yes, thank you very much. And to also say Happy New Year to the management and staff of the Liberia Broadcasting System, including the Director General, Honorable Ledger Uj Renin, Estelle Liberty Camoon, the Deputy for Administration, Titi Foka Jipro, the Deputy for Media Services of Broadcasting, then Boema JV Boema, the Deputy for Rural Broadcasting, all departmental heads, staff, reporters, the engineers, security, and all journalists across the country because since last year.
Yes, since last year.
Yeah, so Happy New Year. We hope that 2020 will be a year of prosperity, the continuance of the freedom of expression, and journalists going from place to place, providing the necessary information needed for the growth of our country.
That's wonderful. Since last year, so this
Yeah.
is my first
Yeah,
interview
yeah.
with you.
So I'm taking the advantage to talk to everybody across the country. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Let's start off with the election process. The president of Liberia went to election. You've completed that election. The induction ceremony also took place. Today, you're in office, continuing your mandate as president of the president of Liberia. How is the workings of the PL?
Yes, the process is on course. We have new officials who joined, the two of us who were previously, serving the first term. I'm talking about Daniel Yakona now, the vice president. He's not a new person. He's not new to the PU activities, including myself. We have our colleagues who are not new to media team. I'm just talking about the leadership. Musa Kane, who's the current secretary general, and Akwe Besa as assistant secretary general. So we'll be having our meetings, put into place plans of action that requires full implementation of the leadership, inclusive of membership and supporters of the media. So we are on course. This year is a year of serious action of the media landscape across the country. We'll be having a series of events. The most important one is we know of the special elections and the draw election. Under our constitution, after 9 years, half of the Senate will go for election. So this year is critical. We did it before, and I'm of the conviction that of the level of professionals we have in the media and the training we continue to embark on to reach across the country. Coverage will be very, very much good on a conducive atmosphere because 2017 we conducted a debate, representative debate across the country, and we hope that we can do similar things. So this year is critical because of elections and other events that will come.
What is the overall operations of the media in Liberia to talk about 2019? What will you say in terms of the all-over performance of the media?
Well, there were some cases of reports that we have handled. We have issued statement about hate messages by a media or few media institutions, breaching professional ethics or professional standards, which of course made a complete violation of our code of ethics, and we instituted measures. But above all else, 90% of both print, electronic, even online, provided the kind of information needed to ensure that Liberian people were informed, the education provided, agenda setting. So I'll grade the media 2019 excellent, exclusive of the few institutions that all of us know about that we took issues, and that was intended to ensure stability in the media, intended to serve as an example, a deterrent for people to remain professional. But the majority of the media institutions did well because remember we had a series of events who were very critical. Among them was this the alleged money missing protest.
Okay.
And I even want to hear the police. The relationship between the police in fact, the joint security and the media has been very, very much rewarding from Gregory Cuomo time, going to the end of President Salif tenure, because we took over 2017. We had a series of discussion forums with the police to make sure that all of us respect our own roles, because the police or the security, they are professional people, they are Liberians. We are Liberians. The difference is that we're in different professions. Excuse me for the call. So, that harmonious working relations continue. But the one that provided more that type of graffiti of that was the sign of a memorandum of understanding on Mr. Colonel Patrick Sudu. I'm not a security man, so I give him the general title of Colonel Patrick Sudu. And that memorandum of understanding helped us a lot. Remember the June 7 protests? The police were very professional. As we speak, there has been no report of police brutality against any journalist. Even the morning they say Saka, people going at the embassy, going for places, the police exhibited a high degree of professionalism because of our engagement and trying to remove the type of perception. See the media as just some people believe it's this kind of perceived threat that the media will report, be taking footage, or pictures, So we had that memorandum of understanding, and that was not only limited to the June 7, but was intended as a win-win situation. The police has a role to play, the media also. If a police officer is attacked or killed in the discharge of his or her duty, that community or the state is attacked. The police is just performing a duty to protect life and property. In the same vein, if a media practitioner is attacked or killed in the discharge of his or her duty, the community is attacked because the police is providing protection. The media is also providing information for the democratic process of our country to be on course. So you will not see a security, whether NSA, who are not visible, but the police are visible, the military, or whatever security apparatus. Then they ask you to wait at a particular portion. But if the harmonious working relation is not there, there will be perception. So we have gone beyond that. So all of the series of protests, journalists haven't received report, except someone is caught in the process, like tear gas and the rest. And let's talk about the recent protests at the Capitol building. Okay. There were access given to the media. I too, our offices are not far from the place the incident occurred. We own Clay Street. Clay Street. Yeah, and the crowd normally pass through Clay Street, some of them through the press offices, and then the process. So I decided to go on the scene. I did not enter the crowd, but to pass around and see, even with the vehicles, the police were always giving corridor, the journalists were giving opportunity, and adequate information was provided. That's why I was advising them that there were a lot of cameras. You had the international journalists, some of them whom had the correspondence here, the United States, and the various diplomatic missions, ECOWAS, United Nations, who earlier issued statement. They were all monitoring the process. So any contrary information that will be provided, that will be at the detriment of the state, void of that will contain prejudice. Okay. Your credibility will be bought. Even though there were few media institutions complaining at home and decks about people complaining about hate speech, mixed information, we are dealing with that. But majority of the media institutions, including the print, we read some of the local dailies, very nationalistic. They reported the facts, some of them, So it was okay. It's a result of the relationship between the security and the media. So I must hail the police, the joint security for the level. If we continue this process, there will be no confusion as to how we do our work. That's why the media must respect the police or the security too should respect the media, because all of us are serving the state and its people. In fact, serving the public. So last year was good. Elections are over. In fact, Friday I expect the executive mansion reporters to come at the headquarters of the press, to conduct the electoral process. There, the offices are open. We will release calendar events. There will be appointments on committees, coordinators, and regional coordinators across the country. We'll give a full plan of our plan of action. The Secretariat is working on that. And so last year was good. Even though there was some problem with us, the problem not about police.
Internal wrangling or what?
No, I'm talking about death. You know, yeah, we lost some of our people, especially the most recent one, the former president, Sylvain Kessely, who died earlier, was the former award winner, Star Radio, and later representative, you know,
Vinicius
Hodges. These people, they have left a kind of vacuum created because they're role model, Hodges, and our former president, who was president during the heat of the war. So, and other journalists passed on, you know, so it was the kind of difficult moment for us. But I mean, death is inevitable. So that was the aspect that we talk about. Also, our internal issues will be resolved, you know, after elections, during the electoral process, all over the world.
Okay.
Elections normally are marked by dissatisfaction, disagreements, but we are a professional body, so we need to resolve our matter. And journalists, they are going about it normal things after everybody is working, and we are united, and we'll move forward.
So the court matter has been resolved.
No, the court matter. What happened was that you know, one issue to another responding and the rest, so it doesn't matter. The only thing that is of grave or significance to all of us is this our land situation.
The 14th Street line.
Yeah, 14th Street line.
And I was just about to ask about that situation. How was it?
Yeah, the land, we responded to the person claiming the land. That land was purchased since 1996, and then they were probated 97. So quite a long time. We have all documentary evidence. The Presidio is a professional institution. No institution will not acquire a land or property without knowing the importance of and how people own land. You know, you must have deed.
You are in the news now. The PEL is in the news.
So you must have document, you must have deed and whatever is required. But our lawyers, Councillor Bobby Livingston, Councillor Augustine Fire, and the rest of the lawyers are on course. Since it's sub judice, so we will talk more about it, but just to explain to the public, we will construct the headquarters of the Presidio. So these are issues that can normally delay the processes. So okay. last year was like that, and this year now.
Yes, let's talk about 2020. Yeah. What's in for 2020?
Yeah. 2020 will come up with a full plan of action of the union, but
I know all of your different auxiliaries.
Yes,
you spoke of the executive branch, election
that's the last group. Okay. And you know, we have done.
So all of the auxiliaries have completed.
Some of the auxiliaries have completed with only the sports writer.
Okay.
There's a problem.
That situation is still long.
Yeah, they did. Trying to conclude that out of court settlement. I've directed the vice president, whose responsibility under the constitution of the president is to assist me in steering the affairs of the auxiliary. Not that alone, but I mean it's key to start instituting some measures so we can look at the Sports Writers Association. Recently, FIJA elections was held. It was determined that they should have held their elections, all the auxiliaries before the president elections, but because of the unfolding events at the time. And we want to commend the new leadership. I mean, the new leadership of FIJA. You got some real level, it's a new thing.
Okay.
Commend others who even participated and did not win and accepted the results. Lisa and the rest. Seattle, to commend her too for her ascendancy. And I listened to her. And all of her, you know, this is the institution must be paramount. We will not be there for others like the president since 1964. People serve. It's an area we come and serve. When you ascend to that highest level of your colleagues, legacy is important, and unity is important. And I listen to her. I mean, she means well. She has passion for the area. There are a lot of projects. I remember a certain time I was traveling in rural Liberia. I saw there with the young girls, you know, I should say girls or ladies who are new entrants in the media. They need to be encouraged. They need to be empowered, training, and beyond that to be exposed. So if FIJA is doing that, Sports Red is also ensuring harmonies in the sporting sector among them, the Reporter Association. There will be minimal complaint of problem within the union. Once we have these auxiliaries and monitor themselves, then the PUL will be looking at a greater portion, you know, press, freedom of expression, ethical breaches, and the rest to ensure we do other things. So we must heal
So the
them.
way to have the PEO function effectively is to have a stronger auxiliary.
Yeah, these
The
auxiliaries will be,
auxiliaries must be strong.
there are some issues they can resolve at their level.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's, for example, there's a problem in the Sports Radar Association, maybe it's a sports reporter, give wrong information. The person affected can first begin at the leadership of the Sports Radar Association. That can be settled. There are some cases before coming to the president, then president sending it to National Media Council. National Media Council should be looking at grave issues, violations. So it's important. Even the different county media association, Maryland Reporter Association, General Association, NIMA, BASA, and even Alico.
Okay.
Alico is a major auxiliary, controlling rural part of the area, and Hector they've been doing well. So the media is involving. The 64 to the 70, 80s, the population will have media institution, they will continue to grow, especially with the
No, we had growth in the media now.
yes,
Okay.
and they will continue, especially of late. Before you become a member of the presidency, you might have practiced for a decade, 10 years, but then after setting the constitution was reviewed, 5 year other measures are there. So the media is involved. This is why we are very serious about people being professional, people trying to avoid prejudice, dealing with the issues being objective, because the media is expanding with this Camara Act that has been passed. People have the right to express themselves, but they should express themselves in a form and manner that will depict national peace, reconciliation, and unity.
Mr. President, one of those things, the media is still confronted with, how you ensuring the collective bargaining agreement
Yes.
is key. How you going to tackle that issue?
That is not even unique to Liberia.
Okay.
Some countries they have adopted the collective bargaining agreement, but then the remuneration is a problem. What is holding on ours is the remunerations and other criteria continue, but we have made progress.
Okay.
Many of the media institutions have gone beyond the benchmark, and some managers complain about the economic condition. So we're going to use a holistic approach, dealing with the economic model of these institutions, at the same time making sure that the collective bargaining works, because it's not healthy for anyone to work for a media institution and the earning cannot sustain them. It will create the level of dishonesty. Not everybody will be dishonest, but it will create room. So we're making progress, and we'll go that far. That's what we'll be talking with our partners, especially the BLTA and NICA, meaning LTA, about this frequency regulations. We welcome the decision of the LTA.
Just before the LTA situation, can we water down the proliferation of media entities? I know there is a database from the President of Liberia, but again, of late there has been some other allies. Take for instance, especially the online, maybe televisions and those stuff and things. How you're working with those institutions to ensure that you actually have coordination.
Yes, it's important. This is why we even have individual membership and institutional membership.
Okay.
Few of the institutions are coming in, renewing their institutional membership. Every institution has to pay a certain amount of PEO as membership, but that has not been forthcoming. People complain about the economy, but this year, even due payment. We'll be very serious on that.
Will you ensure probably some of those entities that are not compliant?
Yeah, we have written them, and so we hear we give over 100 institutions, or going to 200, but then when we check our record, they have not ratified or renewed their accreditation. They have to do that. So it's good. That's what we've been fostering about media freedom. And once there's media freedom, there'll be a lot of media institutions. The proliferation of media institutions will continue. We just need to make sure that the professionalism is upheld. Yeah, that's the meeting. And so that's what we'll be working with LT, as we are saying.
Yes. Okay. So let's go to the LT. I know of late there has been this issue of Punch FN and okay. So let's hear you.
Yeah, the Punch FN issues is welcoming. We started that, especially when there was a statement from Mika, not just from Punch FM or media, renewing permits and the rest, and that many institutions from that statement were non-conforming, and they actually wanted to harmonize this issue. We spoke about it, we talked about it, and that was an issue of legal significance. So Punch FM went to court, and so we worked on the decision, and we think we can move forward now. But for LTA action is good. In fact, I've been following the state broadcast of LBS about the release, about making sure to ensure stability in the frequency process. New regulations will welcome that.
As of April.
Nobody will have a young press freedom, and you don't want to conform to policies and procedures that you have faced a signature to, because to acquire a frequency or a permit, you have to go to the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. You feel informed. First you apply and you feel informed. They have criteria, things that you sign to. So there's a compelling need that you conform to those norms. Especially you have to pay certain amount, the financial dividend. Those who even own the media institution will be beneficiary, and LTA also. So the state is matter, the interest of the state. So the press will not back anyone who does not want to pay or conform to the spectrum policy, the 2009 LTA Act. So welcome the decision, especially we learn that March will be the deadline, and the rest. We'll continue to engage the LTA because we've been working with them before. They did not leave us out. We're informed. We have series of discussions, including our partners, Internews and all the rest, PUL, Hell One, sponsored by Internews, LTASF. So we have series, if I went across some part of rural Liberia to link with the community radio stations. So we'll continue to engage them. What we are concerned about is about even the payment. Some of the radio stations in rural Liberia are purely community.
Okay.
Yeah, some are commercial. So there are other issues we need to address. So that's why we welcome the decision of March, and we'll work with LT and make sure that the decision should be binding on everyone. We don't want to say that the press, somebody from the radio say, oh, LTA closed me that why? Because I was unable to pay or conform to the policies. So we'll do the national dialogue, the remaining concerns we have. It should be binding. You can't operate a radio station, you can't respect the regulation.
Are you sending this message across to the different entities involved?
Yeah, what we are doing, there have been consultation that will continue. The vice president, the rest of the team, the secretary general assistant, and some of our executive committee members will be contacting media owners and relevant institutions, media developers, to continue on the consultation. We'll move to LTA. So we welcome that. As I said, it doesn't make sense for anyone to started portraying another avenue, fostering that to ensure that the bill of press freedom, free speech being abolished, sedition, and the rest, until we have achieved that. So whoever uses the media is our platform. On our jurisdiction, we'll question you if it is being misused. So we want to weed out untrained media practitioners. The way we do it will be like the teachers. If you can be trained, you'll be trained to remain in the classroom. That's what the teachers have been doing.
So there are plans for training.
So our people are working to determine needs, to do needs assessment.
Needs assessment.
Yeah. LMC is also there, Professor Duaco, and they'll be going from place to place. So when we determine the weakness, the strength, and the opportunity of a particular media institution, what are middle level training required, the press you can collaborate with that media institution, and we send our experts to help to train them. Those of them who are trained, but because of political manipulation, embedded journalism, or they are being used by people, some of the politicians who own the media institution to engage in unethical standards, will be made to conform to our ethical standards. And that ranges with suspension, fine, and the rest. So we will be working, but our intention is not to take people out of the media, journalists, but it's to make sure that they remain professional, because once they are balanced, objective, and accurate with social responsibility, our country will be stable. Look at the protests, the last protest. People who cover the protest must be conflict sensitive. We have conducted a lot of workshops. We'll be meeting the managers, and they did well. I was surprised. Some of whom I did not see at the workshop. You know, they were, even if you read the local dailies, you know, the next day I read the local dailies, the stories were most of them were accurate, even in the editorials. They were urging people to be mindful, even they have their constitutional right to protest, but peace should be the common denominator, because if the entire country is not in peace, then nobody will do business. The protesters themselves will not be in the country. Some of whom are not even living here. So they'll be doing the commentary. Some of the radio stations, though there are some radio stations, few radio stations that are completely below our ethical benchmark, and have queried them.
Okay.
Yes. And the next time they do that, the council, I think council is monitoring, will not allow anyone to instigate instability in this country through the media, because you are control now. You are the director. If you decide that I should not be here, I won't be here. You have the right, if you invite anyone to your program, that's why I'm telling the managers involved, and this time you should even develop what we call waiver. You call me for a particular topic to discuss. If I'm trying to go beyond that and begin to start making allegations that the other person don't have opportunity, or making comments that can fuel tension, you can discontinue the program. You know? So these things will be discussing that. Because the people will say the journalists, everything that happened in the country that the journalists, even during the protest, all the reportage, all the stories, say the journalists again, the journalists. So I was sitting, the people were passing like journalists. So they don't know that you have the responsibility to report the story, but the manner in which you report the story will create some problem. But I grade the media, all the series of protests the media has performed. When you look at the majority performance, I mean, excellent. There are few media institutions that were completely like partisan journalism, and I have queried them. And we query them, anything, we institute thorough measures. Report the facts. Nobody is asking not to report the story. Why should you malign people's character? Why should you engage in prejudice, bias reporting? Why should you make the public feel that something has happened and it did not happen?
Does it in any way affect the PR?
It did not. Because that's why the proliferation of media institutions are good. If you are giving this information, other radio station people tune to them. And the entire protest, the cameras were around. My phone, I was using the system from one I leave from KMTV, then I come to EOBC, I put the radio on, I go to Truth, ECOWAS Radio, Smart FM, and Rep, all the different radio stations in contact with the community radio station. We were monitoring, and people were on the scene. So we knew what was happening. This is where credibility will be a problem for some people who did not report the facts. Because if our cameras were all around, we were monitoring that. So professionalism, ethical standards, this 2020 will be upheld. Blackmailing is another target. We're going to deal with people who will be engaged in blackmailing. We're now going to find out with the laws that our period.
What is blackmailing?
To say, I got someone a story, for example, let me put it in the simplest way, because
okay.
These are the reports that are reaching to me.
Okay.
I got one story on you, but you got to do something. The person said, what is the story? I say, do something so we can settle it. If you don't do it, I'll carry the story. And exactly if they don't do anything, you carry some story. What is the story? They gave you money, then you didn't carry the story. So you create.
Are you able enough probably to deal with that situation?
We've been dealing with that. It's just that we don't. Most of them we don't discuss them. We've been dealing with that. One guy, in fact, we got people in who are pretending they are media practitioners. They are not media practitioners. They are the one doing most of the blackmailing cases. Some of them are involved. I went to one community to a program. Somebody came from the trade center and had some radio station ID card, listed the names. And that institution is well known. And I know most of the people at the institution. So when they brought the ID card, because I made remarks, then they said, Minister, let me talk with you. I'm not Minister. He said, okay. Minister, you came late after the programs. I wrote, Minister, let me talk with you. I said, but which institution you come from? They called the NMC. I saw the ID card. I said, hey, okay, wait small. I come in. When I came back, they got gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So no journalist in Monrovia will see Charles come and say, Minister, I'm not Minister. So that create down fast. You see? So they stop money, and we got some people. So we would try, because that's a problem. That's a problem. And the manner in which sometimes people carry a story is a form of blackmailing also. Nothing happens. You didn't contact the person. Somebody told you something, you just write or say anything against the person. Then they call you to come to move the story from on air.
The overall aspect of that speaks to training of the media.
Yeah, but blackmailing is not about training alone. People who are engaged in blackmailing, some of the cases that came to us that we investigated, not that they are well trained. They are well trained. They just want to exploit people. Because you say I'm a journalist. And some people, that's what we're telling the public. When somebody says a journalist has story, do not be afraid. Let them, that you're talking about the story. But some people, you know, I don't want my name to spoil, you know, in the like railway. So let's go talk. And that's no story. So they got to help us. At least when during our Congress, Councillor Flanty Kofa, the representative of Grand Crew, spoke of that. He said, just similar thing I'm explaining. He said, but the politicians in the predicament that they don't want, you know, the opponent to hate them, then they don't want to get involved in such thing. So there's a predicament. So it's happening, but at a minimal level now because we're striving our best. So 2020, the overall function of the press union will conform to constitutional provision of the union, ethical standards, and make sure that journalists operate under a conducive atmosphere. No journalist right will be infringed upon. The PUI will resist that to the fullest if it happens. In the same vein, journalists will institute punitive measures against journalists who will also violate ethical standards and infringe on other people's rights following investigation.
All right, thank you ever so much, President of the President of Liberia. No, probably just before we conclude with you.